Many people are aware that the great rains that started in July have led to floods all over the country in Burma. Many places have been underwater for a week or two now, and in places where the water has receded, there are problems with regard to rehabilitation, which we will have to address. The NLD, together with the Dawkins Foundation, is trying its best to bring relief to those areas which are still in a state of emergency, and to draw up plans for the longer rehabilitation needs. At a time like this, people are very quick to respond and to give with compassion and generosity. But what we worry about is that when the emergency period has passed, people will start to forget, and there will not be enough help forthcoming for the real job, which is that of rehabilitation. We have already started drawing up plans as to where the needs will be greatest, and we would be most grateful if the international community could cooperate with the Dawkins Foundation and the NLD and other organizations which are working to give as much help as possible to our many citizens who have been struck badly by the weather conditions. We don't know what is going to happen with regard to further rains during the rest of the monsoon period. I don't know whether you realize that we still have a couple of months to go before we can say that the monsoons are over. Of course, weather conditions cannot be predicted accurately, but I understand that there is still a danger of further heavy rains and further floods in this country. And even if there are no further floods, the need for rehabilitation will remain in the many areas that have been affected badly by what happened over the last few weeks. So I would like to appeal to the international community to help us generously and in a coordinated fashion, because generous donations which are uncoordinated tend to go astray or to prove less effective than they might be if they were part of a well-laid plan. So may I appeal to you, all those who would like to help our country, to make a coordinated effort with regard to the rehabilitation process, which should be starting soon. In many areas now, the waters have receded, and there we have to start working on rehabilitation. Our greatest needs at the moment are shelter, medication. We are also worried about the fact that diseases may follow, contagious diseases may follow the floods. And with shelter, we hope it will not have to be shelter for more than a temporary period, but we cannot tell how big the need will be, for how long those who have lost their homes will need to be sheltered, and what their basic needs to be. And we also have to think about their living. How are they going to make their living? Those who have lost the means for making a living, those who live by working on a plot of land, for example. If that plot of land has gone completely underwater and destroyed everything that they were expecting to get at harvest time, how are we going to look after these people? What are the alternatives? And there are those who will have gone into debt because of this disaster. How will we help them to repay these debts? And how will we take care of the children who can no longer go to school because the schools have been wiped away, or because their means of getting to school, that is to say, the roads, have been wiped away? Infrastructure, of course, reconstruction of the infrastructure is the responsibility of the government. But I think at a time like this, we all have to join in and help. And it would be the best way of helping us if the international community were to coordinate very carefully to make sure that they are giving us the help that is really needed by our people at this time, and that whatever they give is used in the best way possible to hasten the rehabilitation process. I think I have to mention because I'm a politician, I have to mention this, that elections are due in this country in November, on the 8th of November. Very important elections. I think it's going to be, we could say that the elections that are going to be held this year will be a historic turning point for our country. And we want to make sure that our country is as prepared as possible in all ways, social, political, and economic, to ensure that the elections are as smooth and as fair and free as they should be. We do not want this natural disaster to be a reason for upsetting the necessary political process without which our country will not be able to make long-term progress. I think some of you will remember that in 2008, a referendum with regard to the Constitution was held very shortly after the Great Nargis disaster. And this has raised many, many questions about the effectiveness of that referendum, about how acceptable the results of the referendum were. We do not want such questions to be raised this time with regard to our elections. So let us deal with what we need to deal now and in the best way possible to make sure that the future of our people, socially, economically, and politically, is assured. Thank you very much.